Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 10th installment of the Taped Up Podcast. I'm your host, T-Mac, and I'm here with Eric and Ryan. And it was a wonderful weekend of football. Yet again, finally, the Browns win and the Packers lose. What a fantastic week of football! Oh, I can't wait to get to that Packers game. But for now, let's start on the Patriots and Steelers on Thursday, gentlemen.
Yeah,
That's good.
so yeah, 21-18. What do you guys think the Steelers are gonna do? Because obviously, I don't think neither of the quarterbacks is the answer. Saying,
We'll get to 9 and 8.
who's your third string? Does
Draft,
anyone know?
draft.
Oh, it's
Mason
Mason
Rudolph.
Rudolph. That's right.
What I think is going to happen is that the Steelers are going to finish out 9-8, 8-9. Doesn't matter who the starter is, and they're going to let Mike Tomlin go. Not because it's Mike Tomlin's fault, because they know it's time for a rebuild, just as the Patriots are doing with Bill Belichick.
I was about to say, imagine Bill Belichick.
And I
Mike
question,
Tomlin get fired.
I question if Mike Tomlin will be a Patriot.
Maybe.
Saw a lot of
but
people saying
I
he'll go
think
to
he's going to be a
Raiders.
Raider. I think he's going to be a
Yeah.
Raider, but I wasn't expecting a report in week 14 that Bill Belichick was going to be out the door at the end of the season. So I'm just curious, Mike Tomlin's just as legendary as a coach as Bill Belichick with less rings, in my opinion. So it's just something to think about. But can we get on the train of Bill Belichick heading to the Chargers?
That's what Ryan said last podcast, I think, right?
Jokingly, he said it, but now it's legit.
No, I for old thought it. That's where he should
But
go.
that's what the Chargers need—a defensive-minded coach, and he'll love Justin
Like
Herbert.
Gruden.
Yeah,
Brandon
and
Staley
he'll
is a defensive-minded coach.
Yeah,
He's
well,
worked
see how
with
that's going.
defensively.
But
Zappy looked really good. I think this
Zappy
week.
looks like Tom Brady when it doesn't matter. Good for him.
Yeah.
He'll probably be a
Anyways,
starter. Moving on, Bucks and Falcons. NFC South is now officially up in the air for 3 teams.
I didn't watch much of this game.
To me, because I did watch a little bit of the game. I had it on my second monitor while I was watching the Browns game. This goes back to like when we talked about the Eagles and the Chiefs, how we said the Chiefs were the better team on the field. To me, the Falcons look like the better team when they were playing. They just lost. I mean, I think they were most receiving yards. I think they were right under in the rushing, and they were the most in passing with Ritter. I don't think they're a better team. I just think they played better. I just think the Buccaneers got it done. I think Buccaneers are the most talented team in the NFC South, which me and Ryan touched on last week. But NFC South is up in the grabs, regardless of who the better team looked like, what they were. It's going to be a dog shit fire at the end of the year, anyways. I mean, whoever makes it is most likely a first round exit. Nobody's scared of the Buccaneers. Nobody's scared of the Saints. Nobody's scared of the Falcons. So, I mean, good for the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers will win the division. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. And speaking of,
Baker.
I root for Baker. Exactly. Speaking of a team that won that doesn't matter, the Chicago Bears did in fact take down the Detroit Lions.
Jared Goff is
Yeah,
not
figured it
looking
out.
good
He
the
is
past
struggling.
3 weeks.
He is struggling.
The Packers
But-
ruined Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes.
His receivers are dropping the ball a lot more, I've noticed. I don't know if you guys noticed that. The past 3 weeks, his receivers have not been catching the ball.
They were
and
actually talking about that on NFL Today yesterday, that
Yeah.
the Lions receivers were dropping a lot of balls, and that we shouldn't put all the blame on Jared Goff. But Jared Goff is like not controlling the offense at the end of the day.
It doesn't look. They're not communicating very well, I don't think.
It's not very fluent. I agree.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Ryan?
I forget what the record was, but Jared Goff like outside in what like December and January, like an outside field, his record's like awful. But inside, like in a dome, is pretty
Oh.
good.
Interesting.
And that is the last outdoor game they have on the schedule.
So we're saying
Last
with
4
that
games
theory,
will be
they're
in a
gonna
dome.
win out with that theory.
Maybe. I mean, maybe.
Interesting.
Possible.
Moving forward, we have the Bengals taking down the Colts. Jake Browning making a case to be a starting
Best
quarterback in the
game.
NFL.
Ryan said it, I think, a couple weeks ago. They paid the wrong man. And if he keeps playing like this, I think there's going to be, I don't know, it's probably definitely not going to happen, but they might, like you said last episode, they might get rid of him and let him play for another team. And just, obviously, Joe Burrow will start for the Bengals, but
I think this is a win-win for the Bengals. I mean,
Yeah.
worst case scenario, they have a backup quarterback that's better than most starters right now. And best case scenario, they're going to get some pretty decent assets, I think. You know,
Having a good backup quarterback is like top 5 importance for.
I mean, look at the Ravens. Every time Lamar Jackson went down, that one kid would come in, and I forget his name for some reason. I'm blanking out. Huntley, yeah. And I mean, he would just run the offense just
Pro
as
Bowler last year.
Exactly. So, I mean,
Wow.
like I said, it's a win-win for the Bengals. I don't think the Bengals like I was joking last week when I said, they could go get like a top 10, top 15 pick. I don't think it'll be anything like that. But you can go get a couple second rounders for this kid probably, and maybe even an offensive lineman, which is what you need badly. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
It's
they didn't the offense line didn't look too bad
no,
last week.
not
It
by any
actually
means.
looked really good.
I don't know that dude's first name, but that Brown or no, Chase Brown, the backup running back.
Oh yeah, I
Looks
seen that. Yeah, that
explosive.
he is quick.
He's quick.
Hmm. I will say
He knows
though,
his job.
we talked about this about 4 podcasts ago that the Bengals would win more games if they would just run the football. I mean, Joe Mixon has proven to be a top AFC running back when he gets the ball. And these last 2 wins they've gotten, I mean, yes, Browning has looked amazing, but they've ran the ball, which has opened up the play action, which has opened up the pass game. And I just wonder why they didn't do this when Joe Burrows was the quarterback.
Quarterback, $200 million.
Yeah, I guess that's Cleveland can say the same thing.
Throwing the ball in a bum calf, but
I mean, at the end of the day, run the football. Speaking of running the football, the Cleveland Browns take down the Jacksonville Jaguars without running the football, but needing
Talking
to.
about throwing that pig, Joe Flacco.
I think if those 2 turnovers that Jags got, I think it would have been a blowout. Those 2 turnovers didn't happen. I think it would have been a blowout.
Oh, in the Browns' favor. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about the Jaguars. I was
No.
going to say, no, I don't think so because
Oh, the
even
Browns
when
had
we.
2 fumbles lost.
Yes,
Internet interception.
yes. But I'm pretty sure Trevor Lawrence threw 3 picks.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence.
He didn't
threw
look
3
healthy.
picks.
I don't
did
know.
not look
The
healthy.
commentator said he looks 95% healthy. He said, and you can tell by just the way he's playing.
I have a
I
hard
think-
time believing he had a high ankle sprain last week.
I just think his drop back, so I think he was like babying the ankle. But maybe I'm just a Trevor Lawrence lover. I don't know. But I mean, Joe Flacco's a starter. He's probably a starter next year.
Gonna take a word.
That'd
Are
be
they
crazy.
are the Browns gonna have what do they have to do to get him off the practice squad?
They'd sign him.
They have to sign
Pay
him.
him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they have to pay him though before he can play.
Well, they're going to. I mean, the Browns are dumb, but they're not that dumb. I don't think.
Any
At
team
least I
right
hope
now,
not.
any team right now can get him.
And they got rid of what's his face.
They can snag him if he approves of it. Say another team offers him like $1 million for each game he plays, right? And then he can go to the Browns and be like, "Hey, they offer me this much. How much are you gonna give me?" He can play around with it if he wants to.
Here's the thing, though. In all reality, who needs Joe Flacco right now?
A lot of teams.
A lot of teams.
I mean, for the last 4
How he's
games,
playing.
with the last 4
Yeah,
games,
some of the last 4 games mean a lot.
can you name me a team?
The Vikings,
The Browns
Steelers,
need a quarterback.
Steelers
The Steelers got 3 quarterbacks.
that aren't doing shit.
We have 1 quarterback. Like the Cleveland Browns need Joe Flacco. It's not even a process of like.
I know.
he's
I'm
winning us ball
just saying,
games.
like that could happen.
Okay, under the assumption Joe Flacco and he plays for us for the remainder of the year, we have the Bears, Texans, Jets, Bengals. 2-2 at worst, and we finish 10-7, and we make the playoffs. And we just need a Joe Flacco marvelous run with a really good defense.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens
Possible.
moving forward.
But it's the Browns, so
Anything can happen.
We'll see what happens moving forward. Next game is the Saints beating up on the Panthers. Not much to talk about. Derek Carr is terrible. I will say that.
oh my.
He's miserable.
Yeah, it's bad. I seen one. It was one drive. I mean, I think they're in the red zone, and he would step back and then he threw out of bounds. I think like 3 different times. It was
No.
ridiculous.
Derek Carr's bad.
It's awful.
But
Yeah.
this game was awful to watch anyways. I mean, the score would tell you that like, oh, the Saints ran the table, but like in all seriousness, there was a part of me at one point in the game when I was like, the Panthers are still in this. I think it was 14-3. They kicked the field
until
goal.
The fourth quarter, it was 14-6.
Yeah, I really thought I was like, dude, the Panthers can still win this game.
If
Yo,
so if they go 1-16, does it still even with the Browns?
absolutely it is.
Alrighty then.
Absolutely it is. Are you kidding me?
What?
'Cause since
Well,
the Browns
actually, to be honest, if you want to get technical, no. And the reason is, well, they got 1 win so early. It'd be different if it was like a 1 win later in the season and they beat like the Jets or somebody that's just as bad as them. But they did beat Texans early, and the Texans have been one of the hottest teams of football here recently. So
yeah.
yes, and no for both
I thought
reasons.
it was funny.
Speaking of Texans,
Speaking of the Texans, getting blown out by the Jets.
Zach Wilson.
I'm-
AFC Player
So-
of the Week.
Who needs Aaron Rodgers?
So they benched him for 1 game, realized they fucked up, and then he balled
I
out.
think it was like 2 games.
It was 2
Was
games.
it 2?
And he said he wasn't even thinking about playing. He was going to tell him no.
I saw somebody say the Jets have let Zach Wilson know that they're going to trade him at the end of the season.
For what?
I think I
I
seen
don't
something like
know.
that.
I've got a weird feeling he's going to go somewhere and like ball out, but I don't know why I have that feeling. But I have that.
I mean, it's a Baker Mayfield situation all over again. Not that Baker Mayfield's like balling out, but like it's going
looks-
to be a similar
Looks
situation.
a lot better on Tampa though.
Yeah, I mean he's healthy, so
Yeah.
yeah, I guess. Now let's talk about here. I mean, CJ Stroud got hurt. He looked awful. I mean, it was raining a lot, all that stuff. Of course.
Not
but,
only
like,
that, but two of his top main receivers got hurt. So
yeah, I think Texans will be okay. I think this is just one of those like this is a weird week in football. Honestly, there's a lot of teams that lost that I was like, whoa.
Very weird.
Which we'll talk about later, of course. But I don't know, Texans will be okay. That whole division 7-6 outside of the Jaguars, who are 8-5. So it'll be interesting. See what happens. Moving on to the Ravens, barely squeaking by the Rams in overtime.
Punt return and OT.
Lamar looked good.
Pretty good game.
Lamar looked good.
Really good game. Kyron Williams, good game.
Very good game for Kyron Williams. Cooper Kupp had a great game too as
Good
well.
game.
Yeah.
It was a- what a game of football.
So do the Rams still have a chance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a game ahead of them. That's just because we beat them. We have the same record, but we have the
Well,
tiebreaker.
Yes. The Rams do have a very good chance.
And the Packers have a conference tiebreaker over the Falcons. So
Yeah, right now they're 8th seed.
yeah.
Yeah.
They
And
do
like
have
he
a
said, the
chance.
only
I
reason
mean,
the Packers are ahead of them is because Packers beat them.
Vikings that aren't looking too hot right now.
They're winning ball games though.
Green Bay better win all out. No offense.
Yep.
Yup.
The Lions keep playing the way they are. They might drop down too. So, I mean, there's a lot could go on in the next few weeks. So it'll be interesting to see.
I'm glad you touched on the Vikings because the very next game we're talking about is the Vikings beating the Raiders.
3-0.
And what a game it was.
3
What
what? How
a
That's
game
all I
it
gotta
was.
say
how many
about
games
that.
has the score ended at 3-0? I think it was 3 or 4, something like that.
I have no idea.
And like
I don't know. It
the-
was terrible. So if we could just move on, that I would
yeah,
appreciate it,
go
guys.
go right ahead.
The
The
Vikings did name Nick Mullins the starter for this coming, but that's about it.
for a quarterback,
Yeah, I think they did as well.
Josh Dobbs is officially
Interesting.
The Pastronaut has officially died.
Joshua Dobbs' Linsanity moment is officially over. But you know whose isn't? Brock Purdy and the 49ers. Still out here balling.
Even with Drew Lock in, I mean,
Drew Lock
it is kind of hard.
Looked pretty good.
He did. It is kind of hard when it's a last minute decision for other teams because you weren't really watching that said player in
Yeah,
film.
you weren't like game planning.
So
for
yeah,
Drew
it's kind of
Lock.
hard to. I mean, you have last year's tape, but I mean that only can do so much. But I think after halftime they really turned a gear, and I feel like they always do that every week. So
Well, they also got the Seattle Seahawks out of their game plan with making DK Metcalf turn to a big baby as usual.
oh yeah, that too.
I
saw
read. Are we talking about the same thing?
Christmas present for whoever.
Yeah, that was their game plan. Which
Yeah.
honestly, if that's true, I don't know how true of a report that was, but I've seen it twice, so it's probably more true than I think. That's great game planning by Kyle Shanahan.
It's like a Nerf League bounty gate
Type of thing. My favorite thing
I-
about this matchup is Ward and DK Metcalf. It reminds me of when
Crabtree and Sherman.
that's a good one too. I was talking about Julio and Josh Norman when he played for the Panthers.
Mm,
That was a really good matchup. And Josh Norman had Julio's number, and Ward definitely has DK's number.
Yeah.
Because Ward got hurt early in the game. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but Ward got hurt early in the game,
did.
and DK Metcalf went off on that. He scored a touchdown immediate play, and then Ward was like,
First
"Nah, I'm
down.
coming back in,"
Yeah.
and DK didn't touch the ball after that.
2 catches for 52 yards. And I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they were both on the same drive.
They were both on the backup, and one of them, I think there was a pass interference as well on the backup that was guarding DK. But I mean, the 49ers are probably going to clinch their division now for sure. And I would imagine Brock Purdy is probably still the front runner for MVP.
he's got to be, dude.
it's
I
Dak.
know.
Is it Dak now?
Wow.
Yeah.
I
After
was
the
figuring we touch on
Eagles.
that later.
But I mean, you gotta. People can say that he is just making throwing short passes and
But
doing
he's
all this,
not.
but yeah, he's not though. Like the last game against the
No.
Seahawks, dude.
How many times does he have to
But-
throw for 350?
The one ball to
yards and 2
Debo?
or 3 touchdowns.
The one ball to
Perfect.
perfect. Same thing with George Kittle. Perfect.
The-
Yeah,
The
he's
only
a
reason they
Debo.
said that was because of the Eagles game when he threw back-to-back slants to Debo, who broke it out for a 50-plus yard
Yeah.
touchdown. It's the only reason they said that. They don't watch the actual games.
Mhm.
I mean, Brock Purdy, and I'm not we'll get to it when we get there. I do think Dak is probably more deserving of MVP just because of what Dak has versus what
I agree.
Brock Purdy has. But Brock Purdy is definitely elevating everybody else around him as well. Like Debo's great, CMC's great, but like at the end of the day, we talk about this with Justin Herbert. Like he's the one making the passes, it's making these guys look good. So we need to give Brock Purdy his flowers. I mean, he's a fantastic freaking quarterback and he
He
makes
is.
fantastic throws. But I still think CMC or Debo are the MVP of that team.
Yeah.
But that's not a hit at Brock Purdy either. They just
It's
their
closer
numbers
to-
are just better in their position, I think.
Yeah.
Respectfully. Moving on to my favorite game of the week, Bills beating the Chiefs.
This was beautiful.
Oh my
I
god,
loved
I'm
it.
starting to really have a strong hate for Patrick Mahomes.
Who isn't, man? I mean, it's getting bad. Like,
Like
I'm-
the roughing the passer calls that he'll turn around and beg for with his helmet sideways, and he looks at the ref like.
And then this,
"What?"
and then this.
Shut up.
after he throws the ball, he's like,
Give me the play. Give me the play. Give me the play.
Yeah.
If you notice it,
Now. Give me the play.
So I've seen mixed reviews on the whole call. I personally didn't play.
offsides.
Okay, so I personally didn't play receiver, but I do know for 1,000% fact that receivers check with refs, and refs like, oh, you got back up, you got back up, and he didn't. Kadarius Toney did not check.
this is
with
all
the
he
ref.
did. This is all he did, right? He stood up like this,
Yep.
He looked at the ref for .2,
looked at the ref, looked away.
and the ref. You see the ref scoot forward because the ref can't see the ball because
Yeah.
Tony's in the way.
And he did
then-
that. He was
I
offside.
do.
Go ahead.
There was like a group of plays they pulled up. He was lined up like that 5 other times.
That's what I was gonna say.
in the same game before that, but they called it on that last play. But it's not like it's not like it was one of those late flags that they threw halfway when Travis.
They threw it
Kelce was
immediately.
running. Yeah, they threw it the second the snap started. So
Yep,
like,
I agree. Because even the commentator said, "Oh, it might be a free play for Patty."
yeah.
Because the commentator said it in the game.
And then after that, I think Patrick got one ball smacked down at the line of scrimmage. He sailed one out of bounds. I was like, yeah, that was their opportunity to score, and like the game's over now. But
I just think, I think Patty Mahomes is showing his true colors, if you will, of being like a prima donna, or maybe
going up to
the.
Josh,
Go ahead.
going up to Josh Allen after the game,
Yeah,
Crying
and
about
saying
it.
that to him.
yeah.
doesn't
and,
care.
And Josh is sitting there like, I don't give a like. I should have got if I would have got a chance against the ball. You know, what I'm saying you wouldn't even won a Super Bowl. So
Yeah,
it's funny that stuff like this happens to the Chiefs, but like I can pull up plenty of receipts where like the opposite happened to the
Where
other team.
win
Like for
because of
example, when the Cleveland Browns should have beat the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Targeting.
I mean, that was targeting helmet to helmet, whatever you want to call it. The Josh Allen not getting the ball, which is nothing against the Chiefs, obviously, but like that's just another situation of like shit happens, dog. And going onto the podium and crying about it because it looked cool because Travis Kelce made a great
Fame
play.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
And then saying
every player knows how to do that, man. What are we talking
Now,
about?
If it was
And then saying
a playoff game or a Super Bowl, yeah, go ahead and complain about it.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
a regular season game.
and he
Absolutely.
said
move on, buddy.
he's like in elementary school. We looked at the refs and the refs told us, and I said, dude, this is not elementary school. This is you're an adult.
I
This
agree.
is-
I
mean,
think
you're
to
a
some
grown
level,
ass man.
to some level, especially in the NFL, like you shouldn't have to check with the rest if you're offsides.
You should know. I
You
mean,
know how to line up.
you're a professional
Exactly.
football player.
But let's get off this. I hate talking about the Chiefs.
Watch out
I
for the Bills. They have that.
We'll see what
2010
happens.
Packers vibe where they.
Oh
win
yeah,
out.
we'll see what happens.
They're looking pretty good right now.
We'll see what happens. Moving on to the Broncos beating the Chargers. I mean, God dang it, Justin Herbert. Can you please win a game?
They got hurt. But whatever.
I mean, just have them in a position to win a game.
About
my top
these,
five. My top 5 quarterback wouldn't be out. That's all I'm saying.
About these Denver Broncos, what is this now?
5 out of the
they-
last 6 or 6 out of the last 7.
So they're what 6-1 right now after the last before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
6
they
out of
they
last
lost. How many did they lose? Like 4,
5.
They were
5 straight, and then
yeah,
now
they're
they won
1-5.
6.
Yeah, I
Looking
mean,
pretty damn good.
Broncos.
Sean Payton's shown that he can still coach. I mean,
And
Denver
Russell
Broncos.
Wilson's showing that he can still ball.
He's looking all right.
After
I
last
think
year.
That Cortland Sutton one-handed catch in the back of the end zone was pretty great.
that was crazy. No,
Mhm.
that was wild.
Got away with a little push off, but
What a way to close out the Chargers season too. I mean, in all seriousness, just like the defense has been abysmal all year. Justin Herbert's been doing everything in his power to win football games and just gets hurt, and he's done for the year. I don't think he's actually done for the year. I think they're just shutting him down for the year because
yeah, there's no
he
point
could
in
play. He
throwing
could
him
definitely
out
play
there.
if he need exactly. I hope they get Bill Belichick, and I hope the Chargers turn around and not just be Philip Rivers for the rest of his year. But let's talk about game of the week, realistically, right? I mean, Cowboys beating it up on the Eagles. What do we think, boys?
Yeah.
What?
The Eagles need to figure out their defense because they give up
They're
30
the
plus
worst-
points per
They're
game.
the worst tackling team in the NFL, I'm pretty sure.
But I want to say, last episode, I was wrong about the Cowboys. After this victory, they look really fucking good. Like, really good.
I agree.
I think they have a chance to come to the Super Bowl. But
You think they're doing that against the Niners?
no, they're not. Obviously,
Just
we've seen that
eventually.
a few weeks ago. So,
Agreed.
I mean, I think, and we're going to get into it when we get there, but I think now it's starting to be the Dolphins on that watch list of can they perform with good teams
Without
or
with, yeah, I got.
yeah versus good teams because now that I mean their receivers are going down,
I mean,
some of their
how many
defensive
years in a
players.
row are we gonna see the Cowboys look like regular season champs and then crumble in the playoffs? So I'm not gonna.
They were
crown
10-3
them.
last year.
I'm not gonna crown them
Yeah,
until January. We'll see. What
Um,
happens.
they look
I do
really
wanna-
good. That's what I want to say.
Yeah,
I do
agree.
want to touch on. I think Dak is walking around with a different swagger on the football field and off in front of the cameras. All that he has more confidence in what he's doing. I will say they got lucky to a lesser degree because the Eagles did drop a lot of passes, a lot of passes. And I'm not saying lucky isn't like, oh, they could have lost. That's not what I mean by that. I just mean like the score is 33-13, and in all reality, AJ Brown dropped a lot of balls. Devontae Smith dropped some balls. Jalen Hurts did not look fantastic, but he did put some balls out there where the receiver didn't capitalize on it. So I think it could have been a bit of a closer game.
Yeah, I really thought coming out of halftime that the Eagles would make some type of push
Right.
and at least get it close, but they just didn't.
The Eagles are still a really good football team, but
Mhm.
I think once they figure out their defense, everything will be fine.
Concurred. They do have a
Honestly,
young
because-
defense as well. Let's
Yeah.
not forget. I mean, they
Yeah.
drafted a lot of those guys this year.
So I'm not
Um,
gonna like fully put them out yet. Just I mean they lost to the Cowboys, so
But to piggyback on what you said about the Cowboys playing in the Super Bowl, this is their only window, I think.
yeah, it is. It is.
Because the Eagles will just get better. The
Yeah.
49ers are going to stay the same.
Yep.
And other NFC teams, I mean, even the Packers obviously have a bad record in comparison to previous seasons, but the Packers look good. They look like they're going to get better. There's a lot of NFC teams that are on that cusp of coming up, like how the AFC was about 4 or 5 years ago. So we'll see what happens.
I may be wishing for the wrong thing, but I pray to God the Packers go to Jerry World for the playoffs. I don't think the Cowboys will be Jordan Love Slinkerville.
If I'm being
Uh-oh.
honest, I think the Cowboys need the first seed more than anything. I would almost say that they might not want to see any of these NFC wildcard teams because they're getting hot at the right times.
Whoever wins the South.
They don't count. They don't count. We're only having 7 teams this year, not 8. Sorry. I think yeah, 6. I'm sorry.
Silly.
I think those 2 wildcard spots that we're talking about, or those 3 wildcard spots, are getting hot at the right time, rather. So we'll see what happens. Let's move on to. Let's go to the Titans beating the Dolphins first.
Man, the Dolphins.
It's unfortunate.
The Titans gave the Dolphins so many chances in the fourth quarter to win that game, and the Dolphins just did not. A lot of people are coming out saying Tua's a bad quarterback without Tyreek Hill. I don't think that's true,
I don't either.
but I don't know. It was a weird game.
I mean when Jalen Waddle got hurt,
lost.
right?
Out of the last 750 plus games, teams leading 14-0 in the last 3 minutes are 700 and something and 0.
Oh, and yeah.
It was just such a weird game.
It was really weird. I mean a lot of players got injured. I mean there's nothing you can really there's nothing you could do about that.
Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, like all these guys, they were like
Yeah.
injuries in the first 2 minutes of the game.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Like
mean, half of them came back.
you
But
can say what you want about Tua, but like guys, like his whole offense got hurt in this game. It
the
wasn't
center
just
towards
Tyreek
ACL,
Hill.
he's out for the
Exactly.
season.
Exactly. And let's you know, the Titans just capitalized on 2 possessions towards the end of the game. It's not like
Yeah.
Mhm.
it happens. Welcome to football, ladies and gentlemen. It does happen sometimes.
Exactly.
Tua lost 2 of his offensive linemen. He lost both his receivers. I mean, Tyreek came back, but like he's not Tyreek once he has a bum ankle. Let's be real. He's not the cheetah anymore, you know? Rosie Mozart got hurt, you know. So I'm not I know you said that we need to watch on the Dolphins being like that. I'm not gonna
Well, I just said that because a lot of players are injured, so I think that's going to be kind of the downfall
oh yeah.
of the season. If
Yeah.
they get healthy, then they might go back up. But
I'm not gonna blame anything on the Dolphins for this game. I think the Titans just capitalized on a situation
it
that
was
worked
just
in their favor.
unfortunate, is what it was.
Yes.
Definitely, Dolphins are still in my top 4 or 5 teams in the AFC.
Now
Better.
let's move on to my favorite game.
Oh
of the
boy,
week,
Ryan,
can
get
we?
ready.
The Giants taking down the Green Bay Packers.
I saw it coming. I'm not.
Tommy fucking cutlets.
Ah. Ah.
Fucking Bujudo.
Hey, did you guys know he's Italian? What
Ah.
about his agent, huh?
Ah.
I dressed up as that dude for Halloween when I was like 7. That's what he wore.
As good as Tommy DeVito was, I mean, Saquon Barkley had the
Sorry,
biggest
go Bears.
impact, I think, on the team as far as winning the ball game.
I bet
Those
you
2
differ.
touchdowns were huge for that team.
I mean, yeah, he had 2 tuds, but like 40 of those yards came on a play that he fumbled at the end of. We kind of shut him down low key.
No,
Until that last
I'm
play.
just saying his impact on those 2 scores. Without those 2 timely scores, it would have been a whole different ballgame. Like Tommy DeVito couldn't have delivered those touchdowns. Saquon Barkley was the only one that could, is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
We look like if you watch the game, we
Oh, I
looked
watched.
we looked like the youngest offense in the NFL, and we are. I'm not worried.
I am.
Very, very windy game, like 20, 25 mile an hour winds. Jordan Love still played pretty decent, pretty good.
All right. Last
Get
pod,
that
we said
good.
you can only lose 1 game though.
This has to be the one game. I think they're
Yeah,
going to
we
win
got
all
the-
out after this.
Got the Bucks.
They have
this
to.
week.
They will. I
Bucks-
think they will.
Bucks, Panthers, Vikings, Bears.
That Bucks one might be tough, but I think you'll still pull it out.
It's at. I think it's at Lambeau, so I like that. But
Is there a
Uh,
scenario where the Giants can
ooh.
make the playoffs?
hold on. Did you guys see the 2-point conversion play we called?
What was that?
Don't know. We ran backwards on a jet sweep 8 yards on the 2-yard line.
Like
What was that? And then we called that play 4 times before that. I don't. That was the most. That was the most insane 2-point conversion play I've ever seen.
that's almost
all
the
in
worst
NFL.
special teams play I've ever seen. The only thing I've ever seen worse than that was I think in 2015 when Michigan punted from like their own 15 and faked it, and Ohio State capitalized on it. It was a crazy. So back to my question: is there a scenario where the Giants get in?
No, I don't think so.
Let's look at the rest of
They're
the
5-8.
schedule.
You're in the 12th
Packers-
seed.
Packers are 6-7. Packers are
We
in.
got Saints, Eagles, Rams, Eagles.
So
I
no,
think they
okay.
lose their last 3.
Yeah, we don't even talk about it. Yeah, so there you guys have it for the week 14 scores. Moving on to the week 15 predictions. We have what would have been a easy win for the Chargers turning into probably game of the week, maybe. All these backup
Raiders,
quarterbacks.
oh
All these
my.
backup quarterbacks have been putting on shows, man. We got the Chargers at the
Both-
Raiders.
Both 5 and
Thursday
8.
night football on Prime.
Who's starting for the Chargers?
That same
Uh,
dude that came in, Sticks.
Yeah,
whatever his name
yeah.
is, who cares?
Stick 'em or whatever. Yeah.
Raiders.
Anyways. Yeah, give me the
Give me
Raiders.
the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Believe the
Raiders.
Raiders
I
are
don't.
3-point
I haven't seen this guy
favorites.
play, so give me the Raiders.
Trifecta on Saturday Night Football here. We're
So
going to start with the
Saturday,
Bengals and
Bengals and
Vikings.
Raiders.
Vikings visiting the Bengals at 1 p.m.
As much as I don't want to say it, I think the Bengals win this game.
Give me the Vikings.
you.
I
Five.
think the Bengals are going to win just because their offense has had the same offense for 3 weeks, and the Vikings are changing things up. So I'm going to take
I
the
think-
Bengals.
Justin Jefferson said he is going to play this week. And
Didn't he just go to the hospital?
he said he's playing. So I'm
All right.
taking his word for it. Give me the Vikings.
Whatever. We got the
Nick
Pittsburgh
It's,
Steelers. Oh, sorry.
Real quick. Couldn't tell you them off the top of my head, but Nick Mullins' stats as a starter are pretty good, and nobody talks about it. Anywho,
Actually, since we're talking stats and people not talking about it, Trey Hendricks is 1 sack away from breaking his PR in sacks. He's at 13.5 right now, and he had 14 his rookie season. So I think Trey Hendricks needs a little bit of some love too. So I'm gonna give it to him right there. Yeah,
silly.
whatever. That's how I don't know the guy. Moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers visiting the Indianapolis Colts. Both teams need a win.
I'm gonna go Colts, and the reason I say that because the quarterback situation for the Steelers and
Fuck the Steelers.
that's my train of
That's the
thought.
other reason.
That is another reason.
That's a
Give me the
good. That's
Colts as
the
well.
best reason.
I
Have the
think
Colts.
I think the Colts will have maybe like 2 touchdowns ahead, but I think in the fourth quarter the Steelers will try to come back like they always do, and it'll be like a 3-point game or something like that. So, but I do think the Colts are gonna win.
I think the Steelers are doing a disservice to NFL fans and Steelers fans if they start Mitch Trubisky. Give me this Indianapolis Colts.
Give me the
We
Colts
have
as well.
the Denver Football Broncos visiting the Detroit Lions. Lions needing to figure it out, and Detroit or Denver on the cups of making the playoffs.
This could be a sneaky old banger.
I think this is gonna be a really good game.
Give me the Lions.
But give me the Lions. I know
They need
said
a
it.
bounce back.
I know I said that he's gonna get pissed and figure it out, but I think he
Dude.
will figure it out this time.
They have to. They have to.
They
They
have
need
to,
one.
yeah.
I gotta take the Lions.
Give me the Broncos over Jared Goof.
Jared Goof, love that. Moving into Sunday afternoon, we're gonna go with the Bears visiting our
Bears.
Cleveland Brownies. Eric, hopefully Joe Flacco is named our starter and will continue to win us ball games. I will be taking the Cleveland Browns.
Give me the Browns by 20 plus.
Oof, that's. I like
Cleveland,
I like your thought.
Cleveland don't win blowouts, buddy.
Give me
They
the Browns
do.
by 20 plus.
It's against the Cardinals.
That's a football team still. Thought they were delegated. Must have been on bye last week. My bad.
We're 6-1 at home this year.
Yes.
It is at home.
Yes.
Give me the Browns.
We have a lot of injuries too.
We do.
Kind of sucks.
Give me the Browns.
Moving
Brent Delpit
into
out for the
a
rest of the season?
Who?
no,
Delpit,
not the rest of the
he's out of
season.
He's just on IR right now.
They did not announce him the rest of the season, though.
On
Um,
IR,
Right now.
so he'll miss the rest of the regular season.
yes, potentially. Anyways, a big game for both teams again at 1:00. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers visiting those boys in Lambeau, the Green Bay Packers. Ryan, how confident do you feel?
Pretty
I'm asking who you think is going to win. How confident?
If it was in Tampa, I'd be a little less confident.
Okay.
But the fact that it's at home and the Bucks are living in Florida where it's nice weather, I think that actually does play a factor.
I agree.
And hopefully it snows a little bit. I pray to God that it snows a little bit. But give me Jordan Love over Baker Mayfield every day. of the week,
Davies.
as much as I love
Eric.
Baker.
I'm gonna go Packers as well. They really need this one. I mean, I guess they both do, but yeah, give me the Packers. I think it's gonna be a close game.
I'm in complete agreement with both of you, but I'm going to take Tampa Bay.
I do believe.
What
the
if?
Bucks
I know
have
this
one
is
of the worst secondaries in the NFL, so I'm really hoping for Jordan Love to sling the pill around. Hopefully,
This-
get Patrick Taylor some carries. Maybe Aaron Jones comes back. Maybe.
maybe just maybe. This sounds so far fetched, but Browns Packers.
Anyways, moving on. Texans visiting the Tennessee Titans.
What did I
T
miss?
knew what I meant.
Super
He was
Bowl?
talking Super
Yeah.
Bowl. Yeah,
just
moving
imagine.
on,
Just imagine.
I
I
can't
knew
because
we're
it's
buying
gonna be
tickets.
Cleveland, San Francisco. Moving on to Texans versus
God
the Tennessee
damn.
Titans.
Give me the
I
Texans if Stroud plays. If
yeah, I don't
not,
know what the
give me-
situation with Stroud is.
I mean, he's definitely in protocol. So yeah,
Okay.
if he plays, give me the Texans. If he doesn't, give me the Titans.
I do
Simple as
need
that.
some advice, gentlemen.
Titans at home are a different team.
Do I
don't know
start
who wins
DeAndre
the ball game.
Hopkins over DJ Moore, or do I start DJ Moore?
I go D Hop.
I go D Hop too. I mean, DJ Moore's going against Cleveland's defense.
A banged up Cleveland defense.
I mean, they still played well with a banged up last week. So.
I go DJ Moore actually.
Dude,
Pass rush.
I'm going.
I want to get the ball out.
That's what I was thinking.
But our
And the Titans.
secondary is really fucking good.
I don't disagree, but like Will Levis to D Hop is like good every 2 weeks, and they just had a good game. So I'm on the Cups, but I'm gonna take. The Titans winning this game makes it a 4-team battle in that division. In all seriousness,
Sadly.
I
remember seeing a TikTok in the offense or the off season of somebody putting $30,000 on the Jags to win their division, and that dude is sweating his nuts off right now. If he hasn't.
I'm gonna go with if CJ Stroud plays, I'm 100% taking the Texans. If he does not, I'm still taking the Texans. We have the Jets visiting the Miami Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Zach Wilson said he is playing without a single care the rest of this year. I will take the football Jets.
If the receivers are healthy for the Dolphins, I'm gonna go Dolphins.
I'm taking the Jets regardless.
Not give me the Jets, but I don't think the Jets will have a game like last week or this week. So
we're gonna find out.
Give me the Jets.
I like that about you. Moving on to those boys in Arrowhead visiting the New England Patriots. I think icing on the cake, the Chiefs lose this game. Give me the Patriots.
They need to lose for the Browns to be in. I mean, not be in, but we need a lot of things to happen to get a bye. But
yeah, I did see that tweet actually.
No,
there's a tweet, and it's like it's not far fetched. It's really not.
It's not.
It's not. The Browns have to win out regardless, so we need the Browns to win out, and that's the only way it's going to really happen. But I just think it'd be icing on the cake, and I think the Patriots will win, and I think we'll see another whining Patrick Mahomes meme. So I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, I think we need the Dolphins to lose twice, or something like that. Or Ravens to lose twice, and the Chiefs to lose one more time. I think.
Give me the Chiefs.
That's how it went. But I'm gonna go Chiefs too.
Moving on to the New York Football Giants taking on the New Orleans Saints. If Derek Carr is at the helm again, I will be taking any team playing them. Give me the Giants.
I don't care who's playing quarterback. Give me the Giants.
Give me Tommy fucking Cutlets.
I love that from you boys. We have quite the game going on. The Atlanta Falcons getting another bye week playing the Panthers.
Falcons.
I
mean, Bryce Young can't do anything with that ball except run, so. Say it.
Don't be different. Take the Falcons.
Panthers.
Oh my God, he took the Panthers. Commanders visiting the Rams. Who the hell cares? Give me the Rams.
Rams. I think this will be a very high-scoring game.
Don't care. Oh my God, another terrible game to watch. The 49ers taking on the Cardinals. I mean, the Niners, right?
Yeah.
They're 12.5-point favorites already in their way. The 49ers have been quite the bird gauntlet, guys.
Yeah, they have.
Seahawks, Eagles, Seahawks, Cardinals.
In the NFL.
And then they play the Ravens next week. But yeah, 49ers by 1 million. Cowboys visiting the Red Hot Bills. I'm actually going to take the Buffalo Bills for this game.
I'm going to take the Bills as well.
Me as well.
I love that from you guys. The Baltimore Ravens visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ravens are red hot, and Jaguars looking to keep their division. I will be taking the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We need the Jags to lose, but it'll also help if the Ravens lost.
Who are you taking? Ryan, who are you taking?
I don't want to say Ravens. I don't want to say Jags.
Ryan's taking the Ravens. I'm taking the Jags.
Lamar Jackson in prime time. Give me the Ravens.
I'll take the Jags. I don't want the Ravens to be 11-3.
Understood. Moving on to another bird battle. For whatever reason, we've had a lot of bird fights this year. The Eagles taking on the Seattle Seahawks at Seattle. I think this will be a great bounce back game for the Eagles. I think Jalen Hurts will have a fantastic game. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles.
Give me the Eagles.
And I'm the number 1 seed in playoffs, and Jalen Hurts is my starting quarterback, and I've lost 2 weeks in a row, and it's all because of him. So I need him to bounce back.
Seahawks are gonna win out. Give me the Seahawks.
And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it for the Week 15 predictions.
Correct.
Real fast, please, everybody pray for my Cleveland Browns. Everybody, just pray for them. Everybody, pray for them. Ladies and gentlemen, jumping into the NBA season quite briefly,
Gosh.
quite
gosh.
briefly, the
Lakers.
Los Angeles Lakers have, in fact, won the first ever in-season tournament. And for everybody that says Jordan does not have an in-season tournament championship, LeBron does not have an NCAA championship, so it equals out.
NBA in-season tournament championship is a much higher level of basketball than college basketball.
Yeah, they're hanging a
What
banner. It's kind of crazy.
You don't
LeBron
hang
James Jr. came back from a cardiac arrest in NCAA and made his debut, and he has officially outscored LeBron James Sr. in college points. Good for him.
LOL.
That's a funny stat.
Thanks. I
Yeah.
tried to, say. And there's a terrible referee issue going on in basketball. The NFL's been almost just as bad, but
Okay,
basketball's
in the
actually been
NFL.
basketball has been abysmal. They've been ejecting people for nothing. Trey Young got ejected yesterday.
Yeah, why Draymond Green get ejected? He should have stayed in the game. Draymond League shouldn't be kicked out of the league at all. He does really good even when he plays.
And then in that Lakers Mavericks game, Tim Hardaway Jr. literally got teed up for dunking the basketball.
I saw that. Hanging on
Quite,
the rim.
yeah. Then if I don't know if this is true, this obviously could have been a parody account. I never can tell anymore on Twitter, but somebody said that Adam Silver will be investigating NBA officiating during this year and into next year and looking to replace NBA officials. So we'll see what happens.
Do it with robots.
Probably got to.
Foul. That's a foul. Shooting 2.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that does officially do it for episode 10. We're on 10 of the episodes, ladies and gentlemen, of the Taped Up Podcast. For all the haters, we do, in fact, love you. For everybody that watches and
don't.
enjoys and tells us what we do, I also love you. Make sure you're liking. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're telling your grandmother about us. Eric loves grandmas, okay? Loves them. Loves them. Hit the bell for the noti, and we'll catch you in week 11.
I think